Now that the public comment has been received, Winona's Levee Park Redesign Committee will begin using that input to shape a final park design plan to be presented to the Winona City Council. At its meeting last week, committee members spent a considerable amount of time discussing how to best present the plan to council. Chairman Frank Pomeroy said the coming weeks will be a very busy time for the committee.
The mayor would like us to look at each area that's designated in the actual plan submitted by Matt, take a look at each one of those areas and make recommendations on its feasibility. And I think that we will do that. And then council is going to have to make a decision on, whether or not it's feasible to go ahead and develop each of those specific areas and at what cost, and give direction to the city staff as to how to proceed.
As Pomeroy mentioned, the park plan is not an all-or-nothing document, although the committee is aware council members may perceive the plan as such. To avoid that perception, each aspect of the proposal will be looked at individually as short-term projects in hope that this plan will avoid the fate of those that came before it, being placed on a shelf and forgotten. Pomeroy knows funding is the other key issue facing this plan and its implementation.
I think if we go in and we say to the city, you've got to boost your capital improvement budget, and you've got to fund this and fund that, this thing's going to be on a shelf. I don't think we can do that. I think we have to come up with innovative ways to do it, and I think we have to ask council's permission, and I mean that. Ask council's permission to pursue some of these funding mechanisms and then come back to them and report as to how successful they can be in the actual development of the park. I worked with council for over 20 years as a police chief, and I genuinely respect the way they do business, and they're going to be worried about dollars, and I know that.
Another question facing the committee is where to begin making changes to the park. At what location within Levee Park would the plan make the largest immediate impact? Pomeroy and the committee believe the answer lies with construction of the new bridge.
We know that the bridge is going to be done in 2017. We know that the area under the bridge is going to be different than it was before. Before there were old houses and rutty roads. There are going to be beautiful gardens, rain retention ponds, and it's going to be a very beautiful place. Sidewalks. We can't have that end there. I think the most logical thing is to move that somehow down towards and into Levee Park. We know there are going to be probably hundreds and thousands of people using a 12-foot wide bicycle pedestrian path that connects to the Great Wisconsin Trails that can move into our city and into our downtown area. It's wonderful. We've been trying for years to get cars off the highway downtown. This is another mode of transportation, but it's a lot of people that can come into our community and boost our economy. And I think that's great for Winona. So we can't dead end it there. We can't dead end it at the bottom of the bridge and force those people to go somewhere else. We have to find a way to accommodate them. And if we do that successfully, I think Winona can do a lot of great things.
Pomeroy had one point to clear up, and that was the ownership of the plan and the committee's role in the process. The park's vision plan was developed by Matt Tucker of the University of Minnesota Center for Changing Landscapes. Pomeroy said the plan is Matt's for now.
We were directed by the mayor to develop a plan. Matt developed a plan. That's Matt's plan. I've heard comments about, well, you guys don't want to take ownership of the plan. It is not our plan. This plan was done by Matt Tucker. It was done with a lot of the ingenuity and brains that man has to do these kinds of things. We asked him to do that for us. We will take ownership of whatever adjustments to that plan that we make, and that's what we've been asked to do. The actual plan was Matt's plan. And they came here many times, they talked to many people, they talked to the committee. He put that plan together based on those kinds of things. We will look at that plan to determine what we can implement, on what time frame we can implement, and those kinds of things on a phased-in process. And that's what we'll present to council. And that's what they've asked us for.
The current project timeline calls for council to get its initial look at the plans June 16th. And while council members may have seen the plans as individuals, this will be the first time that the council has seen them as a group.